You made me. You know who I am. You created all things, have all powers in your hands. My life I live for you. My life I give to you. There's nobody greater. Nobody greater.
With my hands lifted up, my voice will sing your praises. Nobody greater. Nobody greater. With my mouth I will sing. I'll tell the world of your goodness. Nobody greater. Nobody greater.
We bow down to you. We give you all the glory. Mold us in your image. Make us after your heart. Lord, we love you. We'll give you praise. Nobody greater. Nobody greater. Oh,
My hands lifted up,
my voice.
sing your praises. Nobody greater.
Nobody greater.
Nobody greater.
Nobody
My
greater.
mouth I will sing.
And Lord,
I'll
praise.
tell the world of your goodness. Nobody greater.
Nobody greater. Lift your praise.
My hands lifted up, my
My voice.
voice will sing your praises. Nobody greater.
Nobody greater. Nobody
My
greater.
mouth I will sing.
I'll
I'll
tell
tell the world of your goodness. Nobody greater.
nobody.
Nobody greater.
Oh,
Who can stand
yeah.
before his throne?
Nobody greater.
Nobody greater.
No,
Nobody greater than you. Who can stand?
baby, strong.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of I'm Out of the Box. And I am your host, Apostle T. Roy Jenkins. Each week, we come on and we discuss topics that are informative, impactful, and insightful. Yes, sometimes it's controversial, sometimes it's critical, sometimes it's all of that. So listen, everybody take the time now to like, tag, share, invite, follow, and subscribe. Subscribe so that each time an episode is posted, you will receive a notification. And oh my, what a subject we have today. And it was my intention to bring on my brother Alan, to help me discuss this, because he has a very interesting point of view on it, and perhaps down the road we will. But due to circumstances, we weren't able to do it. So I'm solo today. But we endeavor to have special guests to come on to help us navigate through these times that we're living in. And, a lot is going on. So much is going on. So let's get to it. What we're going to discuss today is the life and legacy of Reverend Jesse L. Jackson, that recently departed. And we also want to talk about the state of affairs of Black leadership in our country. Reverend Jackson was among one of the last of the remaining persons that marched and worked with Dr. King, and the other being, I believe, Reverend Andrew Young. But he's also advanced in age. And, one of the things that I have discussed with my brother and others is that, Dr. King's life and his character and different things has recently been under scrutiny and attacked by some Blacks that feel it's necessary now to disparage him. I had somebody that I interacted with on social media, and I had to block her. I just I just couldn't take it anymore, because every Martin Luther King Day, and this went on for a number of years, every Martin Luther King Day, she would bring up all kinds of different rumors and different things that were said about Dr. King, and she would criticize him very harshly. And, there are some now that feel it's their God appointed duty to bring up all the dirt, all the dirt, and to try to diminish the accomplishments of Dr. King and also Reverend Jackson. Okay. Now, whether these things that they say are true or not, when you look at their overall life, when you look at their overall accomplishments, you have to say to yourself, wow, you know, uh, it's impossible. It's impossible to, list them all on today. Uh, as far as Reverend Jackson was handpicked by Dr. King to coordinate and to facilitate Operation Breadbasket. Yes, Operation Breadbasket was a program designed to help people that were struggling in terms of poverty, in terms of housing, in terms of getting enough food. And, Reverend Jackson springboarded from Operation Breadbasket into the Rainbow Coalition. Reverend Jackson, in his life, he advocated and pushed for investments in the job market. He, along with others, protested and boycotted supermarkets. I remember AP&P. Yeah, AP&P. Different supermarkets that the Black community, they would purchase food. They would purchase things out of the grocery store, but we couldn't work there. Different companies in America, the doors were shut as far as giving jobs to Black people, offering loans to minority companies. Yeah, the banks were closed. The supermarkets were closed to us. I remember Reverend Jackson going down on Wall Street. Yes, and I got my first job, my first real job, I should say, out of high school, working at a brokerage firm, and it's something how downtown Manhattan, what we call the financial district, right, where the stock exchange and all of the banks are located, and it was really something how Black people, when they worked down there, when they did work down there, they were just messengers, or what we call back office jobs. Very seldom did you see a Black stockbroker or an investment banker or somebody like that, somebody in position to do things. I believe there was only one or two insurance companies that were even headed by Black people. Reverend Jackson changed that for us. Yes, he did. Through his efforts, he changed that for us. And despite what you heard, despite the scrutiny that is attached to him now, Reverend Jackson was a great, great man. When he passed, the question was asked, would his body be placed in national prominence? Would they have the funeral in the rotunda? Would he be allowed to lie in state there? And of course, the present administration said no, but I believe that if anybody else had been president of the United States, whether they were Democrat or Republican, they would have recognized Reverend Jackson in the way that he should have been recognized. And it's unfortunate that his passing came right about the time that many of the programs that he helped initiate, that he worked so hard for throughout his life, have been rolled back. Many of the companies that he bargained with and that he dealt with to open up diversity, equity, and inclusion now have closed those programs. Oh my. And even social media owes a giant debt to Reverend Jackson because he was influential uh, in opening up Silicon Valley, you know, in terms of getting them to invest in minority initiatives, training, many of us that are doing what we're doing now, it's as a result of the doors that Reverend Jackson opened. And I want to say also that Reverend Jackson was very, very influential in President Barack Obama being able to run for president. It was through his efforts when he ran for president, when he ran for the Democratic nomination, right? He got enough votes, he got enough interest in his candidacy that he was able to affect the platform of the Democratic Party. He was able to get in and make necessary changes to the rules so that when Barack came about, when it was his time, he didn't have to go through some of the things that Reverend Jackson had to go through. And so we recognize today the accomplishments and the achievements of Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. Yes, and also Dr. Martin Luther King. And, you can't talk enough about what they have done for us without mentioning the enormous sacrifices that the two of them and others made during those periods. Yes, they sacrificed their homes, they sacrificed their youth, they sacrificed their life. Yes, they put their life on the line many times, many times. Reverend Jackson, his life was threatened many times. He was under the gun, so to speak. But we thank God. We thank God. Listen, and I want to say this, particularly to those that may be listening that have a different point of view. Many of us don't know. We think we know, but we don't know enough about the program that the FBI initiated in the late 1960s called COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO was a program that was designed specifically by the director, James Edgar Hoover, right? J. Edgar Hoover devised this program, and its mission was to discredit, disrupt, and destroy Black leadership because he understood that what he called Black leadership was detrimental to the United States, to United States government. So he and his agents went about this way of getting involved in the programs that were being led by Black people to discredit them. Yes, there were Black FBI agents that were used to gather information on Dr. King, to gather information on Reverend Jackson and the others, and to use it against them. Oh my! Malcolm X was also under scrutiny by the FBI, a lot of things that we're hearing now, a lot of information that's being distributed now through social media and different places. A lot of this information comes from the FBI files. Yeah. And many of these stories are not even true, people. They're not true. Again, the mission of this program, COINTELPRO, was to discredit, disrupt, and destroy Black leadership. hmm Yeah. So a lot of things that you hear, a lot of things that you think you know, they're lies, they're innuendo, they're garbage, they're trash. Uh-huh. There's no way in the world, listen, there's no way in the world, and I'm going to tell you a story, but there's no way in the world that anyone here can make me feel some kind of way about Dr. Martin Luther King and Reverend Jackson. There's no way. There's no way. You know, we have leaders now, we have Black leaders that are on the internet saying that we should stop celebrating Dr. King's birthday, or that we should celebrate it in a very perverse way. You know, there are some that are demanding that his statue be removed off of our nation's capital. But listen, the work that these men have done, the work that they put in, it can't be denied. It cannot be denied. Um, there are some that say, well, this about Dr. King and that about Dr. King, and this about Reverend Jackson and that about Reverend Jackson, and this about Al Sharpton and that about Al Sharpton and different others, you know, and to be honest, who would want to be a leader now with all of this foolishness that's going on in the land? How we talk against one another. It's the crab in the barrel thing that my parents used to talk about when I was a kid. They said, that Blacks were like crabs in the barrel. When you see one crab crawling up to the top, another one goes to grab them down. And, possibly there's some there's some validity to that. Uh, but our leaders, people, our leaders need to be held in high esteem. Now, if they're wrong, they're wrong. If they do wrong, yeah. But we need to look at them in the light of their accomplishments, their achievements, and not with our petty differences. And I was going to tell this story. I was in school, and I was given the books to read in school on Dr. King, and he had recently been assassinated, and so it seemed like there were books everywhere about him. And one day, I think I was by this time, I think maybe I was in 8th grade. I came across a magazine article that had a picture of Dr. King, and he was sitting in an airport, and he was smoking a cigarette. And I said, "Oh my goodness," because at that time, it was rare to see preachers that smoke cigarettes. And I'm not trying to say that it's more that nowadays it's different, but back then it really caught me. And the discussion was Reverend King anointed to do the things that he did? And some said yes, he was. And then there were others that say, well, he smoked and everything like that. But I tell you what, if I had to do some of the things that Dr. King had to do and deal with some of the things that Dr. King had to deal with, it, please, ma'am, and please, sir, allow me to have a cigarette every once in a while, because it was crazy. Dr. King himself, in his speech, A Cry at Midnight, I believe it was, he talked about how he got a phone call in the middle of the night. The middle of the night, somebody called him on his telephone and, threatened the life of him and his wife and his children. Oh my, you know, it's easy. It's easy for us to poke fun and to talk about, different ones and their shortcomings. But try doing what they did. Try walking where they walked. You know, the march going across rather the Edmund Pettus Bridge. You know, with Bull Connor and all of his men at the foot of the bridge waiting. Oh my, listen, those of us that subscribe to faith, we need to thank God. We need to thank God. We need to thank God for men like Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King and Reverend Jesse L. Jackson. They were hit with bricks. They were spat on. They were despised and rejected, but they endured. They were faithful to the end. Oh, yes, they were faithful all the way to the end. And that's what I wanted to say. Possibly and hopefully down the line, I'll be able to bring in my brother and others, and we'll talk about this because I'm certain that they have another point of view, and we welcome that. So listen, write your comments, email me, let me know what you're thinking. And so we will take those comments and everything into consideration, and we will talk about it at another time. All right, now have a great and wonderful day.